Welcome to Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. This is where the subjects are audiobooks and the actors who narrate them. I'm Jill Reid, and with me today is publisher Michele Cobb. Hey, Michele, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing very well. So you're going to talk about 3 audiobooks today. What are the 3 you're going to discuss?
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about 3 on a very particular theme. These are all narrated by more than one person. And the 3 audiobooks are Atmosphere, a love story by Taylor Jenkins Reid, read by Julia Whelan and Kristen DiMercurio, with Taylor Jenkins Reid doing the note. Then I've got The Other People by C.B. Everett, read by Heather Long and Kaffe Keating. And finally, I've got Far and Away, a novel by Amy Poeppel, read by Patti Murin, Lisa Flanagan, Jennifer Jill Araya, Kevin R. Free, and Pete Simonelli.
Okay, so we're beginning with Atmosphere, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about it.
Well, this was an Earphones winner, and it's a title that's been getting a lot of press. It was actually a Good Morning America read pick. And for me, the author has done it again. She's created a well-formed set of characters in a gorgeously written work that is actually, surprisingly, a heart-pounding thriller. It's set in the 1980s, where astrophysics professor Joan Goodwin, played by Julia, is accepted to join the space shuttle program. And it's not an easy path, of course, with sexism rampant in that era. But as she trains, she finds her place, she bonds with supportive colleagues, and she discovers love with Vanessa Ford, who's played by Kristen.
Now, I have heard wonderful things about this book and these performances. And of course, Taylor Jenkins Reid has written, I think this is her 5th or 6th book. She wrote Daisy Jones and the Six, which is about rock, the rock world. And Carrie Soto is back, which is about tennis. So now she's turning that microscope she has on the space program and women in the space program.
Yes, and the book actually jumps back and forth between Joan's journey through the program and a disaster in space. And it kind of juxtaposes the beautiful developments of her life outside of her job. But, that job has intensity. And in this work, Joan is on the ground at mission control, guiding, as Vanessa is the one facing the life and death reality that comes with space travel.
So she's the one up in space.
Yes,
And she's played by Kristen DiMercurio.
that's correct. Yes.
I just listened to her narration of the 23-hour
Yes.
Lorne Michaels bio, and I thought she was wonderful. She really was wonderful. I could not stop listening to it.
Amazing.
It was compulsive listening.
Well, in this case, each of the narrators is particularly well cast, and they do a fantastic job of meeting Taylor Jenkins Reid's prose with expressiveness, and they kind of entice you into listening more as the characters develop and deepen their relationship. But they never fail to keep you on that journey of intensity with the catastrophe that's happening miles away from Earth.
Yeah, it's so interesting because Taylor Jenkins Reid she worked in casting in Hollywood, so she really focuses on character.
Yes.
And I also read where she loves Julia Whelan.
Clearly, because
Yes.
Julia actually has more of the narration, and she plays kind of this shyer character that is being teased out of her shell by Vanessa.
Yeah, and of course, Julia is a Golden Voice and also an Audie winner this year for The Women. Her great narration of that book.
Yes, and she's been everywhere, like doing press, and in fact, she's an author as well. And her book, My Oxford Year, is a Netflix movie also.
Oh, wonderful. Well, why don't we hear a little? Who are we hearing from? Julia, I'm assuming.
Yes, this is where we learn a little bit about Joan herself.
This is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's read by Julia Whelan and Kristen DiMercurio, and we're going to be hearing from Julia.
Being an astronaut is not just about getting up there. It is about being a member of the team that gets the crew up there. Plus, Joan has already been. She has, in her nightstand at home, that elusive talisman that every astronaut aches for, the gold pin. evidence that she was one of the chosen few humans who have ever left this planet. She has seen the spectacular shimmering blue of the 7 oceans from 200 miles away. Cerulean, cobalt, ultramarine. There was no shade vivid enough that she could name. 99.9% of human beings who have ever lived have never seen that blue, and she has. But now she is home, both feet on solid ground, and she has a job to do. So when Joan walks into the Mission Control building that morning with a black coffee in her hand, she is at ease. She is not anxious or terrified or heartbroken. All of that will come later.
Wow, that's a good setup.
It is.
So apparently Joan just isn't in the control room. She's been in space.
She has been in space,
Wow.
yes. So she's, gone through the whole program.
Okay, I hadn't realized that. So, and Julia is such a smart reader. She just inhabits a text, but she never overplays.
Yes, and I think in this case, both of those narrators kind of had that same quality, so they were well matched.
Yeah. Okay, so that's atmosphere. Now we're moving to the other people.
Yes, this is another Earphones winner. And for me, it was very much a familiar tale because you may have heard this same tale told by many modern authors. It's really Agatha Christie's And Then They Were None, which seems to be very popular for today's mystery writers to emulate.
Yeah, it's a good premise.
It is. And this version leans into the horror genre.
Yes.
I have to admit, I was a little annoyed by the description of the book, which to me kind of gives away the plot twist. So I would encourage people not to read the description of the book too closely before they actually listen.
Okay. Yeah, I started listening to this and realized pretty quickly, it's not a cozy mystery at all. But in other words, it's really, it really is as much horror as it is mystery.
Yes.
And being scared is not my favorite thing. I'm on the treadmill and I'm listening and it's like, don't open the basement door. I mean, seriously. Have you never seen a movie of the week?
See, as I'm walking, that just makes me walk faster. So I like a little tension there.
It does. And it really was very tense. The narration, where as much as I listened to it, I thought was really pretty terrific. Let's talk about Heather Long and Kaffe Keating.
Yes, I found it entertaining thanks to the two of them because to me, they made up for the familiarity of the plot and the plot twist being called out. They helped to smooth over the rough edges with what I would call style and panache. And while the character development wasn't particularly deep, the interaction between them is what, for me, kept things moving along.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us just a little bit more about the plot?
Oh, sure. Yes. So 10 strangers have been kidnapped, and they each wake up in this Gothic house, which they do not recognize. And of course, and then they were none. So they start dying off. The cast of characters is very wide ranging. You've got a student, you've got a stripper, you've got a retired detective, and they are tasked to find a young woman who has been buried alive, and they have 12 hours to do it. Now,
but they can't leave the house.
Correct. And you have to be careful because it's horror, right? So there is a beast in the cellar.
Don't open the basement door.
Yes.
And Kaffe Keating actually narrates the beast. And I felt he had such a good time doing that.
He completely did in my assessment as well. And that's what kept it kind of moving and fun.
Okay, so we're going to hear a little bit. Who will we hear from?
This is Kaffe as a dead body is found by several of the characters.
Right. This is The Other People by C.B. Everett, read by Heather Long and Kaffe Keating, and we will be hearing from Kaffe.
He's dead, says Jimmy. You've got a great skill for stating the obvious, I say, keeping my eyes downcast. Oh my God! He's noticed our hands now. Was he like that when you found him? I nod. Exactly like that. I haven't moved him. I look from the position of his body to the position of the stairs. What's that up there? A window? What's that on it? A window, says Jimmy. More like a guillotine. He's right. Judging from the position of Ian's body, it looks like he was reaching for the window when the shutter came down. Hard, judging by the 2 bloody smears on it. Oh God, what's... Where is... I turn round. Sylvia, panting like a marathon runner, has arrived. Behind there, we think, says Jimmy, pointing to the shuttered window.
You know, I don't know Keating's work.
I didn't either.
Yeah, and I was really impressed by him and by Heather too, by their pacing, their versatility, as we heard in this short clip. We got a sense of it, but also the energy that they bring to it. This book moves.
It does. And I credit the narrators for keeping that going and that intensity, which you need.
Yeah, I completely agree. So that's The Other People by C.B. Everett, read by Heather Long and Kaffe Keating. And finally, Far and Away.
Yes, this was my pick of the week.
And this is one I'm listening to even as we speak. And I'll let you go first.
So I'll just give you a little bit of the plot. Lucy's son, Lucy's one of the main characters, Jack, is involved in a bit of a town scandal. He gets kicked out of school right before he graduates. So she decides to get out of town as her husband, Mason, is locked in a NASA Mars simulator for 6 months anyway.
Yeah.
Then you've got Greta. Greta's husband gets work in Texas for a year without telling her. So they need a place to stay. So the women actually swap houses via an Instagram post. Lucy and her kids go to the antique-filled apartment in Berlin, Germany, and Greta and her husband Otto go to the pet-filled house in Dallas, and then chaos and fun begin.
It is such an unlikely premise that absolutely works.
It does. Yeah, that surprised me.
I just decided I'd give it a listen, and because I knew you were going to talk about it, and I was just completely pulled into it. Our reviewer in AudioFile called the book and the narration delightful, and that I thought is the perfect word for it. I am so enjoying this.
Well, I use the word surprise. There were a lot of surprises for me because I didn't expect that their lives as house swappers would be connected across the ocean in so many ways. But they've got neighbors, coworkers, friends, and parents, hilarious parents in the mix, which are all great characters to play. And all the narrators seem to have a really good time doing it. So Patti Murin is Lucy, and Lisa Flanagan is Greta, and they have the lion's share of the narration, with Mason, Lucy's husband, Jack, Lucy's son, and Greta's daughter, Emmy, all getting some airtime. And the narrators blend together really well. They get to do lots of accent work and bring out the fun in what is really an odd tale. It kind of reminded me of a Victor Hugo book because it had all these misconnections, bad assumptions, and misunderstandings.
I wouldn't have thought of that, but I'm sort of nodding as you said that. It's quirky as hell.
It is, and
in the best possible way.
Totally, because it sounds in the sort of like plot description that it's going to be tragic in some ways, but it's really truly a hoot. And the other thing I really enjoyed about it was that both women find their personal power as their lives are upended.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. They haven't even gotten to Berlin yet, so I'm still close to the beginning. Yeah, but just having so much fun with it. So, we're seeing things like people who are so quick to think the worst of someone else.
Yes, yeah.
And the cutthroat shenanigans that go on in academia is, something else that, rings so true. And you have these women whose job it is to keep moving forward.
Yes, and high school. High school has a lot of cutthroat things as well.
Oh, God, does it ever. And you have a clip. Who are we hearing from, and set it up?
This is Patti as Lisa. She's trying to hide from her work that she has moved to Berlin.
Okay, this is Far and Away, a novel by Amy Poeppel, and it's read by Patti Murin and Lisa Flanagan, with an assist from Jill Araya, Kevin R. Free, and Pete Simonelli.
At almost 2 a.m, Zoe pinched her finger in the bathroom door and wailed. Lucy turned off her camera and muted herself to go comfort her. And when she returned to the meeting, she'd missed some crucial point a man on the Laurel team had made about branding. He had to repeat himself for her, and Harper and Bryn made their annoyance glaringly obvious. This project required her full concentration, and she could not concentrate. She wanted to shine, to make her coworkers as happy to have her on board as she was to be there. But so far, her performance was a disaster. After logging off at 3 a.m, she settled on 2 facts. She had to get the girls on German time, and she needed a better place to work.
Oh, haven't we all had those calls where we're pretending to be somewhere we're not?
Now, I'm usually very upfront with where I am. It's like, I'm here.
It's really interesting. That awkwardness is so well portrayed. It's just it's a delightful book. It's a perfect August listen, and I'm enjoying it. So hooray. So that's Far and Away, a novel by Amy Poeppel, read by Patti Murin, Lisa Flanagan, with Jennifer Jill Araya, Kevin R. Free, and Pete Simonelli. You've had a wonderful week.
Well, thanks for having me, and I'm enjoying the new format here.
Good. And it's, these are 3 very different, but all very interesting audiobooks. So thank you for sharing, Michele. Today's episode of Behind the Mic is brought to you by Hachette Audio and the audiobook Kiss Her Goodbye, the newest Lisa Gardner thriller. It's narrated by Hilary Huber. Behind the Mic is produced by Jessica Lockhart. Robin Whitten, Michele Cobb, Stephen Cummings, Leslie Fine, Alan Minskoff, Alex Ritchie, Laura Rossi, and Kendra Winchester are our contributors. Jennifer Dahl and Coco McCracken are our editors. And the music is William Ross Chernoff's Nomads 4-Way. And I'm your host, Jill Reid. Good listening.